Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our marketing and promotion session of our peer-to-peer summer series with New Bedford Creative. I am Jasmyn Baird. I'm the Senior Creative Fellow with New Bedford Creative. I want to thank you all for joining us, and I'm really looking forward to today's session, so I'll try to run through this pretty quickly. Our series is geared to enrich, educate, and connect creatives within our community. For those of you who know, New Bedford is home to many artists, creatives, change makers, designers, entrepreneurs, and community enthusiasts. And so these sessions embraces the pulse that makes New Bedford so unique while also expanding our knowledge and our connections. So at this time, I want to thank Mass Development, TDI, and the Barr Foundation for funding this program. This is one component of a broader TDI Creative Cities Initiative to boost arts-based economic development. Before I introduce Elissa, I want to go over the format of today's session. So once I'm done, I'll pass it over to Elissa. She'll present for about 20 to 25 minutes. If you have any questions, either about her presentation or about your own personal projects, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll have at least 25 minutes after her presentation to address those questions, and also by raising your hand using the function in the Zoom. So we'll be able to get to those at that point. I do ask that everyone stay muted during the presentation. This session will be recorded, so once the Q&A opens up, we'll stop the recording and you're welcome to come off of mute. All of our recordings from the past month can be found on our YouTube at New Bedford Creative, and this session as well will be recorded and saved there, so you can find that within the following week. All right, so without further ado, I want to introduce our guest speaker for today, Elissa Paquette, who is the president of D&B Inc. She's also the owner of Calico, and today she'll present to us about marketing and promotion, but more specifically, Instagram basics. So Elissa, thank you so much for being here today, and you can take it over whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Jasmyn. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks to everybody for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about the very basics of Instagram. So this is a great place to get started if you're new to Instagram, or if you have an Instagram set up and you're just looking for best practices or kind of what you should be focusing your time on, because Instagram can be very overwhelming. Just can I get everyone to give me like a number from 1 to 5 in the chat? Like, where do you feel that you're at in your Instagram expertise? Like 1 being like, I know nothing, and 5 being like, I am awesome. Let me know. I think there's 3 components that are going to make your Instagram successful, and those are content, community, and consistency. So let's see, we have a lot of, we have like a lot of middle of the road, like 2 to 3, 2 to 3. That's good. All right, so let's talk about content. You want to have good photo and video content. It's super important to have high quality images, high quality videos. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like go out and buy a new camera or hire a professional photographer, although you might want to for certain things. But it does mean that you want to put a little bit of time into photographing your product well, having like a good representation of your business or brands. You know what would be another good thing to put in the chat? Can you guys tell me, like, what is it that your business or brand is? Or are you an artist? Do you represent a nonprofit? Like, what is it that you're looking to promote on your Instagram? Okay. So in addition to beautiful content, you want to also keep in mind that Instagram it's social media, right? Like, and so you want to keep your community in mind and always be focused on not only just getting up there and posting content, but also engaging with people who might comment on your content, engaging with, so commenting back commenting and engaging and liking other people's content in your niche or in your community. And also tagging people, tagging other accounts in your content. So like, for example, I always make sure to support and like and comment on like my neighbors in downtown New Bedford, like Shimmer and the Mad Lila, because they're right on my street, literally. And we have a lot of the same like customers, and we want to kind of cross promote. So that might look a little bit different for you depending on like what your niche is. But for example, if you're an artist, you want to be, you know, going and commenting and interacting with other artists, maybe galleries, things like that, where you're really creating like a sense of community. It's going to help those people be successful in their Instagram marketing, and also it's going to show to their followers your account. So it's going to help to grow your account and get exposure for your account, because your comment is going to come up and other people will see it. And finally, consistency. So consistency doesn't mean that you need to post like every single day, but you want to get on some kind of consistent schedule so that you're not like just posting and then you go for 2 weeks and then maybe you post again. And this is because you want the Instagram algorithm to always have something to be showing to your followers, to your potential customers, because not everybody is going to be on the app at the same time. And there's like, I don't know, something like 6 billion users on Instagram. So there's a lot of content coming through people's feeds, a lot of information, and you want to always have a chance to be part of that feed and get shown to them. So you want to be on there consistently and also engaging consistently with other accounts. So today, since we're focusing on Instagram basics, there's so many like parts of Instagram now. Like there's, you know, obviously there's the feed, but there's also Instagram stories, and there's Reels, which is like the TikTok of Instagram, and there's IGTV, and it's kind of hard to, you know, it can become very overwhelming to know what you should focus on. And I'm sure a lot of you see like different things coming up, like, oh, this is the new thing you have to focus on, and you got to do the hashtags like this, and you better start doing Reels. So I think the best place to focus if you're just getting started or you really want to create like a good base for your Instagram is to focus on posts and stories, right? So posts are what you see in the feed. So I have my account for Calico up. Oh, I didn't actually tell you guys like who I am. So I own Calico in downtown New Bedford. We've been in business for almost 16 years. And I started on Instagram in like 2012. And Instagram was really different back then, but it was such a monumental marketing tool for my business. It really helped me grow my business so significantly. And I've really kind of like grown up on Instagram sort of because I've been on it for so long, and it's really fun for me. I really love it. And so I've learned a lot about it along the way. And then I also manage the Instagram account for Downtown New Bedford Inc., a nonprofit organization that is all about hyping our hip historic downtown in New Bedford, Massachusetts. So definitely check that out. But so this is my stories account. So this is, you know, your feed posts. So you'll see them in a grid when you land on an account. And then you also see them in your home feed. So these are the—
Everyone takes away their own experience.
Sorry.
I'd say it's like a slow breakdown.
You want one word?
No, I don't. So that's an ad. So these are the accounts that you follow, along with some noisy ads. So this is kind of like a good place to start. You want to be consistently posting on your Instagram feed. But basically, you want to keep in mind your posts are going to be like the home page of your business. because the posts make up this grid that everybody's going to see this as soon as they land on your profile, and it's going to really inform them as to like, is this an account that I want to follow? Is this something that I'm interested in? So that's why you want to make sure that you're posting some, decent photos, good video content, stuff that's going to look nice when people land on it here. You also want to consider the aspect ratio. So back in the day, we used to only have the 1:1 square ratio for your Instagram posts. Now you can do 1:1, but you can also do 4:5, which is basically like, think of like an 8:10 photo. And I like to do 8:10s because when they come up on your feed, they're bigger. Like, see how much bigger that is? Like when you see that when you're scrolling through your feed, it's going to take up a lot more real estate and just be more impactful and noticeable for somebody who's scrolling through their feed, where hopefully they're going to stop and they're going to look and they're going to engage with what it is that you're posting. Let me see if I can find an example of a square. I like never post squares anymore. Nope. But like, here's a square. Nope. I like literally never post squares anymore. But anyway, you can also post a 16:9, which is like a landscape. I don't normally choose to post landscapes because, again, it's not going to give you as impactful as an impactful real estate as a 1:1 or a 4:5 would give you. And the other thing you can consider when you post to your feed is using carousels. And what carousels are they're multi-post, posts. They're multi-image or multi-video posts that you can scroll through. So you actually can give the user a little bit more of a closer look. For example, like for this T-shirt, I'm showing like, the bad girl, like she's like, oh, and then she's like, ha ha ha. So I'm giving some different vibes here, and then I'm also giving you a close-up. So if a customer is interested in this, they can see really like, what are they, what does it look like, Or for example, this one, I'm like, here's some T-shirts, and I'll show that it's the front and the back. So those can be really powerful too, because I'm going to pull up DNB for some other examples, but those can be really powerful too, because the other thing that's great about a carousel post is that if someone is scrolling through their feed and they see a carousel post, they don't like it, the first thing, they don't engage with it, they don't double tap it, they don't comment, whatever, Instagram will then show them the second post in the carousel. So it kind of gives you like more bang for your buck. And it also, like I said, it gives your followers more opportunity to see more stuff. And you can put, I think, up to 10 pictures in there. I usually don't do more than 3, but it really depends on what your business is and what it is that you're posting. Or like, for example, here's one for DNB Inc. where I showed our guide and map, and then you can swipe and it shows you a little video where you can see it online. Another reason carousels are good is because you can pick the first image as something that's going to look very nice and fit into your feed. So for example, like say you're like a restaurant. I know I don't really have any restaurants here, but say you're like a restaurant and you want to post a menu. I see a lot of restaurants posting menus and they don't look very good in the feed. Here, I'll pull one up. Who does menus? I think Court does menus. Does Court do menus? But a lot of times they're, I don't have an example of this, sorry, but a lot of times they're, they're just like small words and they cut off really weirdly in the grid. And it's just not that interesting when you like land on it. So you have the opportunity to put something like cuter as your main image, and then swipe to the other information that you want to share. And then that way it keeps this grid, which is really like your homepage, like the magazine of your business. It keeps the grid looking really nice and really vibrant and still on brand. Creating post content can be very challenging, and this is where if you're not really into photography and video, you might want to think about finding a local photographer to come in and do some video content for you, some photo content for you, like a little brand photo shoot, maybe like once a month for 3 hours, get a bunch of pictures and have them like in a little cache. There's different apps you can use, or you can keep them in a folder, whatever, so that when you go to post on Instagram, like you're not going like, oh my God, it's Monday. What do I post? Give me a dress, give me a hamburger. I got to take a picture of it. And then you end up taking your photos like all hurriedly in a dark room, and they don't come out very well, right? So you want to kind of batch your content and not be shooting it on the fly. And that's something that I've started doing like over the years for my business. And it's really like a game changer, because I know that I have some great content that I shot last week, and then I can kind of, like trickle that out like every other day, or however, depending on how much content I have every day or every other day, I know that I have some good photos that I want to post. And then like bonus tip on this is include, if you can, if it's relevant, pictures of you. So if you are an artist, you want to show yourself making that work. You want to show some personality behind the brand. And like art can be a brand too. And people want very much to connect with people, and they want to connect with the artist. They want to get to know you. They want to connect with small business owners. They want to see that personality. I think a lot of time on Instagram for small businesses and stuff, people think that it's more professional to not be showing themselves and not be, because it's more just show the product, just show the thing. Like I'm not, part of it, but I think that is a big lost opportunity, because your customers really want to connect with you. And then if you have does anybody know, do you have a business account? Yes. Okay, good. So for business accounts and creator accounts, you have a thing called Insights. And this is a really powerful tool that you can use to say when you're going to create the content, or if you have a photographer coming or whatever, you can actually see in your Insights which posts are performing the best for you. So you can see, like I have this set to a year, you can look at 6 months, you can look at 3 months, and you can see which posts are doing really well. And then you can try to say, okay, let me recreate these posts. How can I do more of what my followers are liking here, right? So you can see this is so random. You can see on mine, I'm like, I took a picture of these boxes. People liked it. I don't know. But people really like when I show my customers. This is a great customer pick. And another thing I found through looking at my Insights is people really like to see like me and Jeffrey just like acting a fool, like being silly and standing around or doing something in the store. And I wouldn't necessarily think that would be one of my most popular forms of content. Like I sell clothing to women primarily in their mid-20s. I'm quite a bit older than that, and Jeffrey is like a 6'2" large man, so not the target demographic. Like he's not modeling the clothes, but because my customers know us and they relate to us and they like our personalities, they like shopping with us, they love to see us, especially when we dress up for Halloween. I'm doing pretty good. Okay, captions. Captions are super subjective, so I mean, I can't really tell you exactly what to caption for your brand, but I would say always keep in mind that you want to be like friendly and colloquial when you are speaking to your followers or your customers. Like, for example, like for DNB Inc., I wouldn't put, "We are having an event, please come to listen to music." You know, I wouldn't write it properly. I would write it conversationally. So I would be like, "Hey DNB fam, like can't wait to see you and party down, like whatever," you know, because that's who I'm speaking to. Now, you might not want to speak to your customers like that. You might have, you know, a different brand voice, but you want to kind of keep in mind, like keeping it like fun and relatable and conversational, like you're speaking to a friend and you're not like writing an essay. I'm going to touch a little bit on hashtags because I feel like everybody's always like talking about hashtags. I got a hot take on hashtags. I don't think they're that important. Don't stress out about hashtags. I've done every hashtag strategy. I used to put so many hashtags on all my posts. I think primarily what you want to do, especially for local businesses and local artists, you want to use hashtags that are relevant in your local area and also that people might be following in your local area. So for me, like I always try to put like New Bedford, like hashtag New Bedford, because I know that people follow hashtag New Bedford. And when people follow that hashtag New Bedford, it will come up in their feed. I wonder if one will come up. I know I follow on here also the hashtag retail trends. So I'll see random posts. Okay, here's one. So I follow on Calico the hashtag visual merchandising. So this post, I don't follow this account, but because this post is tagged with the tag visual merchandising, I'm gonna see that in my feed. So I always like to try to use local hashtags because those are primarily what you're going to be looking for, you know, what your customers might be following because they're in the New Bedford area, or something very specific to your particular niche of what it is that you do. So instead of putting, for example, ceramics artists, put something like, you'd put like hashtag, I don't really know about what ceramics, small ceramics artists, or you want to like get into, or pottery ceramics artists, or do a little bit of research, like search for some hashtags and find some that are like really, really specific to what it is you do, because that's just going to make you more successful, I think. Some people put a lot of hashtags. I don't think I'm going to go too much into stories because I want to talk about setting up your profile, because this is where I see a lot of people missing the boat in a big way. Your profile, again, it's part of this homepage, right? So a lot of people are gonna hit this up before they ever hit up your website, right? They're gonna hit you up on Instagram first. They're gonna search you out on Instagram first. So this is going to be the first thing that they're going to see. So you want to make sure your profile is like fully optimized to get the most, you know, targeted information that you want them to know. So basically, like your bio should be like your elevator pitch, right? So everybody's heard of like the elevator pitch. It's like being able to talk about your business, you know, in just the time that you would ride an elevator. So it's just a couple of sentences that says exactly what you do. So you want to take the time to get like a little bit descriptive here and not just put, you know, like clothing boutique, right? You want to like really take the time to create like something that is a little bit more descriptive and personal. And again, when we get to the end, I can either show you guys some examples, or we can take a look at some of your accounts if you guys are into that, and kind of go over how you could better set up your bio. But again, you want it to be like short and sweet. Like mine is locally owned women's boutique, helping you feel cool and confident since 2005, right? So, you know, I'm not only saying that I'm a clothing store, but I'm also local, and I'm also telling you like what I want to do for you. You know, I like, yeah, I have clothes, but I want to help you feel cool and confident. Like that's the feeling that you're going to get when you shop with me, right? And the other most important thing is the name. This is like the number one missed opportunity that I see people constantly on Instagram that just put their name, right? So like, so in my name, I have Calico in New Bedford, Massachusetts, right? Now, the reason why I have in New Bedford, Massachusetts is because this is the only part of your Instagram profile that is searchable. So like all this other information here, locally owned women's boutique, if somebody goes to search, like say I'm like, oh, I want to find some, you know, clothes or whatever, what would I search? I might search for New Bedford, and I'm not going to come up because I'm on my own account, but I'm going to search for New Bedford because I'm in New Bedford, right? So I want people to know that I'm in New Bedford. I see so many people just put their name there when they could put, you know, fibers artist, expert fibers artist, or whatever. You get 30 characters. So you can really take that and utilize that and describe what it is you do. And it's going to give you more exposure when people are searching for different things on Instagram that they might be interested in. All right, I'm at 30 minutes. So do we want me to touch a little bit on stories, or should we take some questions? I feel like we should take some questions.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
There are a few questions up here. Patty Rigo had asked, what are the circles above the grid feed? I know Lori said that they were stories, but we'll let you confirm on that.
Okay. So one thing you can do is stories only last for 24 hours. But one thing you can do, like if you have something that is, you know, you want to be able to save it, you can add it to highlights. So these are my highlights up here. So I have like different highlights when I get like new arrivals and stuff. So you can like go back and watch them. So this is me talking about some new stuff that we just got in. So this is just like a saved story. So you have the opportunity to save those if you want to. And I think they're pretty good. I think you can utilize those for, they're great to do like an about me or something like that, like depending again on like what your specific brand is.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you for that. Mario had asked, if you haven't walked through creating a new post, can you show us how it's done? I know Lori piggybacked to do a story, but I know you're going to be focusing on stories next week. So maybe just going through creating a new post.
Creating a new post. Okay. So again, like I think it's a good idea to have, you guys are going to see my insane camera roll. Don't be like me, kids. So creating a new post, what would I do to create a new post? I would do like 10 million things. So you click the little button at the top, the little plus button, and this is where you can do a bunch of different things. So if you want to post, it's the first one. Oh, look, some shoes. So you have these photos. This is my camera roll. Whoops. This is my camera roll. Oh my God. There's many things. So this is actually the 4x5, because you know I love a 4x5. And I actually have two pictures here because I was going to do a carousel. So in order to do the carousel, did you see what I did to make it 4x5 too? It's this little button right here in the lower left-hand corner. And that makes it the photo's full dimensions. And then if I want to add another photo to that to make it a carousel, and I do, I'm going to click the little, I'm like pointing at my screen, the little stacked squares in the lower right-hand corner. And then you see the little one comes up on the one that I've already selected, and then I can select the next one. And then that's my carousel. So I don't usually use these filters here. Like I like my photos to look very like natural to life. So I edit them like beforehand. But I don't do any of those. I would not recommend using those. And then you just click next. And then you can put your caption here. You can tag people. So I could tag, say these were like Steve Madden. I could pull this up and say, oh, let me just tag Steve Madden here so that Steve Madden will get a nice like notification. Hey. And then you can write your caption, you can put your location. It's always a good idea also to add your location. That's another way that people are going to find things on Instagram. And then I have like products because I have it like linked to my Shopify store. And then you can decide if you want to share it to Twitter, Tumblr, or whatever. Directly on Instagram. I do publish directly on Instagram. I don't use any like publishing software that like pushes it to Instagram. Sometimes I share it to Facebook, but I do like to try to go back to Facebook and kind of like, clean up the caption and, add a link, because on Facebook you can add links. It's just a little bit of a different like ecosystem, the way that it works on Facebook. So it's always good to kind of go and tweak it to where it's more speaking the Facebook language and jiving with the folks who are on Facebook. But one app that I do like to use particularly for planning my Instagram is an app called Planoly. And there's a lot of different apps you can use, such as Later, where basically what it's going to do is it kind of lets you plan what your grid is going to look like, and also like save your captions in here so that you can have everything ready to go. So like this post, it's all ready to go. My little carousel, I just need to write my caption. I can also like keep my hashtags in here, and then everything is in here and ready to go. And I can also see how it looks, which is always fun. Like I don't like how these orange shoes are getting cut off, so I probably won't post that. But this is a terrific app. I absolutely love this app. It's a really handy app, and then it shows you like these are the posts that I've already posted. So it'll show you how is this going to look in your grid. So that's a really handy tool. But I don't like auto post. Like I'll go in and like doctor it up and post it.
Elissa, Kim had a question about do you know how to avoid a black screen when posting a video when the video file itself looked fine? If that makes sense.
So for that, what you want to do, let me find a video. So a lot of times with a video, it'll fade in. So you'll have a black screen fade up to the video. So I don't have one with a black screen, but I can show you like with this. So what you want to do is once you get the video in there and you hit next, you see at the bottom where it says cover. So you can filter, you can use these filters, you can trim it. So you could even take the little black screen part off if you wanted. But the most important thing is to go to cover, because then that's going to let you scrub through here and select. So if your black screen is here and you're like, oh, I don't want it there. I don't want that to be the cover in my feed, right? You can be like, oh, okay, where does it look good? There. And then that'll be your cover. and then you click next.
Lori had a question. Besides most popular posts by views, are there any other metrics that we can access? For example, who is looking the most, who is a new looker, etc.
So for that, I would say you could go to see the little heart in the upper upper right-hand corner. This is going to show you all the recent activity. So for example, I see Sangha, New Bedford, yoga, Jeff.
Okay.
Hi, Jeff. Just started following Calico. So I know that's a new follower, right?
Okay.
And then if you scroll down, you'll see like, oh, these are the comments and these are people who have liked your photo. And then these are people who have recently followed.
Okay.
So you can see it like that.
Marco had asked, how do you repost?
How do you repost?
Instagram.
So that's actually a cool feature that Planoly has too, is like you can actually like grab a photo URL, like say I wanted to repost this picture of Kristen. I would click the little dots in the corner and grab this link. So I tap copy link, and then I would go back into my Planoly app and I'd hit the little plus sign, like I want to add something. And then I would put Instagram shareable link, which is the second one from the bottom. And then it imports it right in there. And it uploads.
Elissa, if you use this Planoly, can you then migrate the same content to Facebook from here? Oh, there it is. I see it right there. Auto post to Facebook. Okay.
Yep. You totally can. But again, just keep in mind that the way, like the way that you would caption something on Instagram might be a little bit different, or the way you tag something on Instagram, you might want to go back to Facebook and just like doctor that up and make sure that that's like jiving with Facebook.
Okay.
And then if you're going to repost stuff, it's always a good idea to like get permission to use other people's photos. I mean, I honestly usually don't, but like, I think if you're going to use something and you're going to monetize it in some way, it's important to get permission. So I don't usually really do that for Calico because it's, you know, you're not supposed to like sell stuff with other people's images. But for like DNB Inc., what I usually do is just make sure that I credit that person and say where I got that photo from, so that, you know, you're crediting the original content creator and sending traffic hopefully back to them so people will check out their profile as well.
Great. So Kristen had asked, how much time do you dedicate to a thoughtful post, whether that be the caption or the picture or video?
My God. It really depends on the post. Like sometimes, you know, you get the photo really quickly, or it's very easy, and sometimes it takes a few tries. But I think like if you're going to be capturing content on your own, you know, and you're not really super familiar with like photography, I would say just, you know, try different lighting and different, you know, position the object or the thing in different ways, or move yourself, you know, in different ways to get different angles, to try and get the best photo that you can. And you can take like 8 million photos. I mean, the thing is that we have these phones that it's like, who cares, right? Like go to town, like don't be afraid to like take a bunch of photos. You can just delete them later, and then you can get one good one and you're good to go.
Absolutely. Helen had a question about, what function do you use to create a video for a post?
For a video for a post, generally I just use my phone. So I use my phone for like almost everything, for photography and video. It's just the easiest way to do it. The cameras are so good now that it's a really convenient way to capture content. It's great for, you know, doing your stories. It's great for doing like feed posts. I would say maybe, a couple of apps that I think are really useful in terms of like, just like if you take a photo and you want, I mean, you can do it right in the iPhone too. You could do like the brightness, contrast and stuff, but there's different apps. Like I would recommend probably for a simple to use app, the app Snapseed for editing pictures, where you can change the white balance and like the contrast and the exposure, and you can even like take out little imperfections and stuff. So that's a really handy kind of tool to have in your toolkit, just to kind of like take your photos to the next level. Another great thing to try is if you have an iPhone, use the portrait mode, because that's going to give you that really kind of that sexy depth of field where like the back is all blurry and then the front is in focus. That looks really cool, and that's a really easy way to like make your photos look a little bit more interesting and professional just right on your phone.
Thank you. Let's see. Den had a question, I think, going back to the repost in Planoly. He said, doesn't a repost maintain a link back to the original poster? Does Planoly actually like tag the original creator when you post?
Planoly doesn't. I know that there's some apps that do that. They'll automatically like populate it in the caption, or some of them have like a little like thing that goes like on the picture. I don't personally like the way that looks in the feed, like where it has like the things that say it's a repost. I like it better to like, make it look like a clean photo and then tag the person in the caption. But there may be, I know other applications do that, but I don't think Planoly does that automatically. I think you'd have to like go and like copy it and like stick it in there so you can remember.
Margot, you had a question. How often do you post on D&B? Any idea of consistency to be in the algorithm?
How often do I post on D&B? D&B, I try to do stories like almost every day. Feed posts, not as good. But try to do at least like a couple a week. I'd like to do more, but that's just kind of where we're at now.
Fair enough. So there's been a couple people offering up their profiles, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, should I just do like the first one?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at Viva Fall River. Viva Fall River. Okay, right off the bat, I would say, am I on the right one? Is this it?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. I feel like you have a new logo.
That is a new logo. It is.
It's cute.
Thank you.
I like it. I think you could probably add a couple more words to the name.
Mm-hmm.
Like you actually don't need Viva Fall River in your name at all, because Viva Fall River is your handle already. So you could use that space to really, get a couple of search terms in there. Like maybe you want to get the word Massachusetts in there, or you want to get the word South Coast, or something else that pertains to Fall River, but is another kind of like buzzword that people might be searching for. And then I would say try to kind of mix up your content a little bit. Like there's a lot of like events obviously going on here, which is great. But I would like to see also like some photographs and some videos of like, what is Fall River? You know what I mean? Like, where is Fall River? What does it look like? And you could even kind of do something like, with something like this, have a carousel post, like I was saying before. You could have a really like close-up picture or some kind of cool picture of Battleship Cove, and then swipe to this information so that when you land on it here, it would still kind of have that sort of like uniform like photography kind of situation, but then you would still be getting your event information in there as well.
That's great. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have Haskell Gardens.
All right. Yeah, again, like put something in the description. I mean, something in the name. Maybe you could get some, well, that's pretty good. Public is good, but there may be something else that you could include in there that would be searchable, like the words New Bedford might be good to try to include. But the bio is good. We got a link, that's good. Pictures are nice, using the carousels. Maybe more people in the photos. Like I like seeing this lady here. Using the carousel. See, this is what I meant with the Viva Fall River is you can have like a picture where you're like, oh, this is like a pretty picture, but then we're gonna swipe to this information that we want to get across. And the cool thing about this too is then you can share this to your story and help get the word out about it like that too. We'll go over that more next week. But I would say one thing that could kind of like up level the feed, the grid here would be maybe some more pictures with people or like closer up with people, like because there's a person in this one, but we're very far away. To just show people like enjoying Haskell Gardens and, you know, all the beautiful botanical wonders therein. But yeah, good job, Haskell Gardens.
I was also thinking too for Haskell Gardens, it would be interesting to like hear stories of returning people that like to visit, like why do they like to visit Haskell Gardens and maybe get to know them.
Yeah, I love that.
Piggybacking off of seeing more people. Okay, so the next one, oh, we have New Bedford Creative.
Okay, cool. Or maybe even for Haskell Gardens, like like videos where you're telling about, because I know there's like really great, like, you know, like special trees and plants and telling about like why this is planted and like why this is a unique plant or whatever would be really interesting. And that's the type of thing that people are like, you know, into. They're like, oh, I want to go see that tree. I want to go see that bamboo. Okay, and be creative. Yeah, so again, the name situation, like, because you already have creative in the handle of the account, right? So you could really like put something in there like for the name, like connecting South Coast artists. Like artist is a good one, like things that people might want to like search for, that they might be searching for, like art. You know, again, the word Massachusetts might be good to put in there. And then, yeah, like I would just say like break up the these little ads, like break them up with like photos, or you could do like a swipe with the ads too. And maybe just do like some more carousels or include some videos. Like this is so cool. Like what if this was like a video and you kind of like panned and then it's not too hard. It's not like you have to like produce and direct like an entire like video. Like you can see the ones I do for Calico. I'm just like, here's the table, you know, like, but it's interesting because people kind of get like a little sneak peek and they see that movement and they see it like maybe a little bit more close up. So that could be an interesting element to include. But yeah, I would just mix up more photography in between where you're sharing some like more advertisement like stuff. And you might want to consider making these into like carousels, like where it's like 1, 2, 3 across, like that could be a carousel. It does look very nice though, all the art walk pictures together.
Awesome. Thank you. That was very helpful to me. So thank you for that.
Oh, good. Okay. In closing, I think another thing that is really important for everybody to do with Instagram, if you are like stuck and you're feeling like, what should I make? What should I post on Instagram? Like, find some accounts that are like accounts like that do what you do and have Instagram feeds that you like, and take inspiration from those. Like, it's okay to kind of emulate other people's like ideas. Like, you don't have to copy it exactly, you know what I mean? And it can be so helpful to be like, oh, this is how this person is presenting this, like I'll give that a try too. You know, it can give you a really good jumping off point for creating content.